Okay guys, we're back with another video. Now before I even get started, I want to say that I am not promoting marijuana, but I am talking about it, and my first time smoking. Now this is back when I was 13 or 14, and this time I didn't actually have a phone. I mean, I had a phone pretty much, most of my teen years, before my teen years actually. I was actually around 10, and now I'm 17, so I pretty much had one since I was a little over 10. That's when I got my first phone. And so my phone wasn't active right now at this point, and I had no clue about Facebook, how to get it on my phone and everything. My phone was one of those slider old phones that you can't really do crap on, you know what I'm saying? You really can't do nothing on them. They're pretty much pointless because of that factor. Oh, guys, just a second. My camera's messing up. So, so my friend calls my mom and says, hey, can you have Devin come over, have him hang out with me for a little bit, for at least a couple hours. And I was like, okay, my friends never wanted me to come over for a couple hours. I was always the annoying left out kid that nobody really liked, and I still kind of am like that, but I'm more in my adult years now. And I have social issues because I don't go to public school. I'm homeschooled. And so my friend calls and he's like, have Devin come over. And I was like, yeah, I'll come over for a couple hours. None of my friends ever let me come over for a couple hours. So I'm like, he's going to probably just pull a prank on me or something. So I show up there and I walk to the front door. And his house always smelled funny. It always has. And he has some older brothers who did more than just weed. And that will be a different commentary about drugs. Now, I've never done any other drugs. I did one other drug 3 times, and after that I was done with it. And, so, I come over there, and my friend pulls out this bag, and I thought, maybe it's tobacco, or maybe it is just weed. But I never knew what weed looked like. I've never been introduced to that type of stuff until up to a couple of years ago. So, my knowledge of drugs is nothing, and he's like, hey, dude, this is weed. I was like, nuh-uh, that ain't weed. That's tobacco or something. You wouldn't do that type of stuff. It's like, dude, I'm telling you, this is weed. You want to smoke it with me? And at this time, I'm 13, 14 years old. I've already tried cigarettes, multiple different times. And so my friends, I'm like, sure, it's not even going to do nothing because it's tobacco in my mind. In my mind, I truly believe that it was tobacco. And now that I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, that dude wasn't joking. And, so he whipped out this pipe after I said, yeah, I'd smoke it with him. And he's like, now, dude, now, you know that you're like my favorite friend. And at this time, I never even knew that he even liked me. Because when any of his other friends are around, he treats me like crap. So, I'm like, I never knew I was your favorite friend. He's like, why do you think I had you come over for a couple hours today? It's like, true. And so, he whips out this pipe, he starts packing the weed in it, and I'm like, this is freaking awesome, I'm about to get high. Same time, I was really nervous, and I was sitting in the swirly seat, so I take a hit, and I'm like, dude, this is stupid, it ain't doing nothing. He's like, dude, you just gotta give it some time to kick in. I said, how long? Because, I'm getting fucking pissed off because, you're giving me something, and you're not even telling me if it's gonna even do anything to me. Because I honestly thought he was lying to me. And, so, I'm sitting in the swirly seat, really nervous, and I fidget a lot. So I was, swirling back and forth and everything. And so he starts packing the bowl, grinding stuff up, getting his lighter out and everything. And now he gives me the pipe right away. And I'm like, what do I do, I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. And he's like, okay, you see where the stuff is? I was like, yeah, that's the bowl part, right? At that time, I didn't know it was a bowl, but I do now. And he's like, okay, now you take the lighter and you set it on top of the bowl and you suck in through the other end. So I did that, and he's like, no, dude, you're doing it wrong, because I wasn't getting a lot of smoke. And so he's like, no, dude, that's not how you do it. Let me show you how to do it. At that time, I didn't know that the carb was on the side, a carburetor, the thing that you cover up with your finger. And so he's like, you hold this and then you suck in. I was like, okay, so that was easy enough. So I take the lighter, I take the bowl that had the weed in it, and I take a big old hit, and I'm like, suck it in. I was coughing like crazy. Like, I didn't even hold it in. I was coughing like crazy, and I was pissed off because I was like, cigarettes doesn't do this to me. He's like, yeah, because it's weed, not cigarettes, bro. I'm telling you, this isn't tobacco. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, and I think he's shitting with me a bunch. I think he's fucking with me. And he's like, so how do you feel now? 5-10 minutes has passed now, and I'm like, dude, this is so freaking weird. He's like, what? I was like, just this feeling. It's like weird. I can't feel my legs. I look down and I'm like sitting on my legs. I realized this after I was done being high. Like I said, this is my first time, and I was like, dude, where's my legs? Dude, my legs are missing. He's like, dude, calm down. Calm down. Your legs are missing. You're sitting on them. I said, motherfucker, you better give me my back, my motherfucking legs before I kick your ass. He's like, dude, just calm down. It's okay. And so we take a couple more hits, and at this time, stuff's starting to go in slow motion for me, like big time slow motion. And so I'm like, whoa, like everything's just slow for me. And I'm like, dude, this is like really weird. I'm lightheaded. I don't feel nothing. Like, me and him started play wrestling and shit out up in his bedroom, and it was. And now that I look back at it, it was some stupid shit to do. And I still smoke weed on occasion. Like I said, I'm 17, and I was a regular pothead up till I was about 16 and a half. That's when I really stopped. That's when I like really stopped. And get my ass kicked. And so me and my friends are just sitting there hanging out, and he's like, dude, if a girl was here right now, would you screw her? I was like, dude, why the hell would you even ask me something like that? He's like, all honesty. Because they say that when you're high, you think about shit like this. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll give it a fucking try. Why not? He hasn't been wrong now. I'm fucking high as hell, and I didn't believe him before, so I started talking about girls' boobs, because I have a fascination with boobies. I love boobs. And it's not for the cancer. I mean, I do support the cancer aspect of it, too. But I support more than just the cancer part of it. I love boobs. I love big succulent boobs. And you can call me perverted. I don't give a shit. I like boobs. So at this point, I'm like, dude, if a girl had a bigger titty and a smaller titty, would you screw her? He's like, well, if it's a small difference, yeah, I would still screw her. But if it's like one's like really tiny and one's really huge, probably not. I was like, well, why not? They're still titties. And to me, honestly, if a girl had a smaller titty and a bigger titty, I probably wouldn't screw her. But he was like, dude, that was. Why would you ask something like that? I said, dude, you just got on this freaking subject of asking to talk pervertedly. He's like, well, yeah, but I didn't think you'd go that far. I was like, dude, perversion is perversion, dude. And he's like, true. Like, now I remember why you're my favorite friend. I was like, dude, you used to fucking hate me, dude. He's like, yeah, I kind of did. I always thought you're an asshole. And I was like, dude, didn't you just say before I got here that was your favorite friend? He's like, yeah, but now you're like seriously my favorite friend. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I called up all my other friends, they couldn't come, and even if I called their cells, they said that they wouldn't smoke weed, and you're the first person to do it. And I didn't want to do this alone, so I was like, dude, this is your first time? Why does your house always smell like? He's like, because my brothers live here and they do it. And that's when I found out that his brothers were doing more than just normal drugs. And, so me and him go take a walk out in the woods, and I'm like I said, everything was going in slow motion for me. So to me, this stuff is like psyching me out, like for real. Like, I was like flipping out for no reason. And so we go out in the woods, and there's some loose dogs out there. And I kept hearing stuff walking and moving, and, I just thought it was us walking, because when I smoke weed, it amplifies his noise for me. It makes noise louder. And so I'm like psyching out because I know that there's something out there, but this is my first time smoking, so I didn't know. And I look around and I see something move out in the corner of my eye, and I'm like, dude, there's something fucking out here. He's like, nah, there's not, man, there's nothing. You're just flipping out like you did in the house. I was like, I didn't flip out in the house. She's like, yes, you did. You couldn't find your fucking legs. I was like, oh. Oh, I do have my legs. You gave them back to me. And he's like, dude, I never had them in the first flipping place. And I'm like, no, dude, you stole my fucking legs, dude. Just admit it. And, with me being high, I'm like, I don't know the difference, I'm not knowing this effects yet. And he's like, dude, you had your legs the whole damn time. I'm like, dude, I swear to God, you took my fucking legs. It's like, dude, no, I did not fucking take your legs. I have no reason for your damn legs. I have better legs than you. And and I used to take steroid shots to help me grow, prescribed by a doctor. And so, you know, at that time, I always had joints in my knees and shit. And when I smoked it, brought away the pain. I'm a little high right now, guys. So if I'm jumping around a little bit, it's because I'm already a little bit fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. And bitch, die. And so fuck. No, it's not like fuck, but lack of words right there. It's either shit titties, motherfucker. So we're walking through the woods, and I'm telling him that there's something out here. And he's like, nah, dude, you're flipping out like you did when you lost your legs. I'm like, no, dude, there's something in here, out here. Not in here, out here. And he's like, dude, no, there's nothing out here. I'm telling you, man. And at this point, I swear to God that he was lying to me. He said, dude, there's loose dogs out here. And then I thought, maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he might be lying. I don't fucking know. And so then I start looking around in the woods. I don't see nothing. And I see it out of the corner of my eye again. I'm like, dude, it's right over there.